Okay, you're alive.
Okay. No. You're giving this.
Lady calls you very beautiful on TikTok.
Aw, how sweet. And then she asked a question.
And I didn't want to take it for that reason, but
Hi guys, how's it going?
but it was
I know. I know.
had to
I know. All right, let's see what's happening
break
here.
up the mediumship.
Okay. I hit it. I broke it, and I don't know where it went. Could you get me back?
I will, 1 second.
I don't know what happens. All right, guys. If you could let Paul know if you can hear me and see me okay, that would be super helpful. We're going to go ahead and start taking the questions here in a minute so you can start posting. I do want to wait for a few people to tune in before I get into that. And I do want to talk about a couple of the free mini classes that are coming up. If you have not been tuning in for the free mini classes, I've been doing one per week, sometimes two, due to the pandemic. So it's been called the Quarantine Series. And if you want to see all of them, you can go to the playlist. Paul, what's the word I'm looking for? Compiled. That light seems to be shining on the wall behind me. So maybe you can just sort of move this one to, not terribly so, but definitely.
Which one?
Oop, I almost did it again. This one is just going on the wall behind me. I also hit this volume, so I don't know if that's a problem. Okay, so I turned the volume up all the way. If you guys can hear and see me okay, let Paul know. I think it's okay.
You don't want your volume on?
I don't.
No, it's going to echo.
Third time's a charm. Here we go.
I'm the third child, so you're totally right.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, it's the Trinity too.
Right.
You're the one. You are the one. All right, so if everyone could hit that like button, very much appreciated. Also, if you have not already done so, please do subscribe. It looks like we might be hitting 2,000 subscribers here tonight, so I'm super excited about that. We'll be doing a special show for that. You can also join in on the memberships by hitting that join button, and you can donate if you would like to do so, which is always nice because I do your horoscopes here once a week. Half of them just went up this afternoon. The other half is going up tonight or tomorrow. I do this free show once a week, Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and I do 1 to 2 free mini classes per week. So feel free to donate. Paul, do you want to tell them about the memberships real quick?
Yeah, as Ivy mentioned, there is a button under the video. There's a link in the description as well to join, and that'll give you the overview of the options. But what it is, it gives us the opportunity to give you more stuff and some more personalized stuff. So we're going to have behind-the-scenes videos. We have exclusive videos, obviously for members, but they are extra stuff for classes. There are polls, posts, all sorts of good extra treats here, daily messages, all the things that normal YouTubers won't get. In addition to that, at different levels, there are personalized monthly messages from Ivy to you and your monthly horoscope reading done by Ivy.
Pretty cool. So the memberships have been a ton of fun. I didn't think I was going to get those until a while after we got monetized, but it all just ended up happening at once. They sent us an email. They said move forward. So we've really been enjoying that. So hope to see you there also. All right, very good. And I do want to talk about trust. Okay, so the next free mini class that we have coming up is this Thursday. That is 8 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. For the TikTokers watching, I usually start it over there as well, and then halfway through we switch over here, so you may as well subscribe and just stay here. But this is going to help you to break down the 3 different reasons we have trust issues. Some of us are overly trusting. Even if we don't feel that we maybe are negating warning signs more than we should. We're always giving people the benefit of the doubt. This can heavily cost you. And some of us don't trust anybody, even people who have earned it, okay, in the past. We just cannot let our guard down. And I want to help you find a healthy balance with all of this. I also want to take a look at those 3 major reasons, one of them being, thank you for the donations. I see them coming in, folks. One of the major reasons being trauma response, trauma triggers from the past. So if you've been abused, you've been neglected, you've been marginalized in your society, it's very possible that you have sort of a trauma reaction. And that can really make figuring out when to trust your gut intuition very, very confusing. So the biggest issue we have, regardless of which of the three categories it falls in, is that we don't know the difference between our gut intuition and our emotion. All right, so join me there for trust. That's going to be, again, this Thursday, okay? And after that, we have pain, how to live your life with the pain, how to deal with pain when it is there. We're also going to touch a little bit on suicide and what actually happens to those people, the myths surrounding the concept of taking your own life or not being able to stay here in a state of pain. And I'm going to help you to get over the fear connected with that. We have fighting the dark. This is huge. So there is a fruit fly that is like just attacking this. Get it out of here, will you?
Well, everybody, you saw them.
They were beautiful, aren't they? God bless. It's time to go. Send them to their funeral. Stick them in the kitchen. And is this going to fall?
No, but we'll
yeah, I don't need to be attacked by a bug the entire time. It's just going to make me insane. I don't think we need this either, but that's fine. Okay, so my lovely Taino bowl, handcrafted from my Seneca friend here. He's amazing. So anyways, we were talking about Fighting the Dark. Now, Fighting the Dark was the first free mini class that I ever did. And this is about every time you're about to level up, there's a new devil. You get attacked in 5 different ways. And this free mini class is up with the playlist, but it looks a little different than all the other ones. It's older, it still works, but I want to redo it, okay? So that's going to be Thursday, December 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then we have level jumping, compassion over passion. What do you do when the passion is gone from your relationships? You're just going to jump onto somebody else. You're going to have compassion for the situation. We have what to expect in the upcoming year. And for that one, I'm bringing on Christina Del Rey, our astrologer here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. I'm going to be doing your horoscopes for the year. She's also going to be doing your horoscopes for the year. And she's going to be talking to you about planetary movements and divisions that I've had for 2021. What is this going to look like? Everybody wants to know. We all feel like basically the world is on fire. It looks right now like we're in the end times. And we need to know what to expect, okay? How to best prepare, because as much as I would love to say we're at the end of the road, we're not, all right? So that is going to be December 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, here. I think that's enough. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. So my lovely producer here, Paul. How are you, Paulie?
I'm very well, thanks. Now that fruit fly is out of your hair.
Yes. Yeah. So Paul will be taking your questions, and what do you need from them?
I would like names. That would be awesome. Names of people or places. You know, if you're looking for different jobs or information about your work, or, you know, you're moving for some reason. Lucky you. Please include names.
All right. Very good.
Okay. Ready for your first one?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We have one from Jonathan.
Okay.
It said, I started a new relationship with a girl named Alicia. Do you see this going anywhere serious?
I think that we're probably looking at like a 3 to 4 month process here where you guys are learning a lot about give and take. You're learning a lot about how to better listen. I want to say active listening, and how to apply what you're hearing to your life. So it's almost like I'm talking about you. Okay. I'm talking about you learning in a relationship how to listen to the other person, and then how to not take that information and be like, oh, well, they meant something else. Oh, well, this means something else. Oh, well, this person is somebody else. It's like, no, what you heard is the reality. What you heard is the truth. Or if you're not hearing things, you're going to learn how to say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear an answer, or I'm not getting a response, or what is going on, and digging a little bit deeper. So this relationship for right now carries the number 7 energy with it, which has to do with truth, being revealed, and understanding how that applies to your life and your own self-development beyond that 3rd and 4th month out. And this could end up being 3 to 4 weeks, but I think it's going to be a bit longer than that. We are looking at a pivotal point. And a pivotal point in any relationship is an opportunity for the two of you to either come closer together or to go further apart. So we'll see at that time.
Okay. We have one from Angela.
Okay.
Just straight up, any messages from my spirit guides?
Okay. Well, I would highly recommend the Meet Your Guides class up on the website. Go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, and learn to communicate with your spirit guides on your own. It is a relationship that should be built between you and them, and you should be checking in with them all day, every day, but at the very least for about 5 to 10 minutes in the morning with your coffee, making sure that you touch base with all of them so they can tell you what to expect for the day. What I do feel is that you have one guide who's been coming up pretty close in your face, and this could be happening at night. I do feel that I'm talking about relationship. I also feel that I'm talking about the way your relationships are affecting your work or your money or your resources. And so what could happen is that you're hearing your name called. You're feeling like someone is in the room with you when you're trying to sleep. You have somebody in your dreams. How do I want to say this? It's almost like after you wake up, you feel like someone's still there or you're still carrying on a dialogue with somebody. This would be your relationship guide. So one of the things that's going on is that you need to do a closer evaluation on who is in your inner circle and how much time and attention you're giving over there to those people. The fact that your work and money is also coming up means that that's the other area that needs to be reflected on. That would be your work and money guide. And they want to make sure that you're putting out what you should be energetically, not too much, not overreaching, but also that you are receiving back. And my feeling here is that you're in a couple different areas of your life where you should be leveling up or getting more. And right now it's kind of stagnant. That could be causing a deterioration in your energy level and you having a feeling of either being neglected or feeling that you're restless or feeling that something's missing. Okay, so just be mindful of that. They are trying to help you work through it, but you have to be an active participant, and that does not include running to your local medium. That means you build a relationship with your guides. That's why they were appointed to you when you came to Earth. Okay, yeah.
We have one from Jamie.
Okay.
It says, I just saw your TikTok video, and I've known I've had abilities, but I don't know where to start.
Okay. So welcome, Jamie, here on YouTube. So I don't know which TikTok video you're referring to. I've been pumping out quite a few of them, but I am feeling that the one that would work well for you to get started is a mini class that I actually did on here on YouTube recently. So go to the playlist and look up one that says, are you a psychic, a medium, or an empath? That is going to start breaking down which categories you have active in your life right now. And that's sort of where we want to start with the development building. Now, everyone is going to end up at the psychic mediumship course. There's one going on now. There's another one coming up in the spring. Or you can get the video downloads. So for that, you go to ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. I would highly recommend that. But for you, I'm also feeling the empathic awareness. So it seems that you're entering into the 3rd and 4th levels with your empathic ability. And this is a really good jumping off point too. I have a website called ivyriveraempathiceducator.com. Can you put that in the link for her? Go to the general for the public empathic awareness training. When you hit the 3rd and the 4th levels with your empathic ability, one of the things that you can see is an increase in anxiety, depression. You might also feel as though like your ears are ringing a lot and you develop telepathy, hearing other people's thoughts, as well as electric person syndrome. And that means that you could be shutting down computer systems, you could be charging batteries, you could be draining batteries on your phone. Light bulbs will burn out. When you drive under streetlights, sometimes they'll go off and they'll go back on. This is based on your mood. So when you're really excited or you're really upset, think of the movie Carrie. Okay, Carrie, where she was like blowing things up all the time. Well, that's electric person syndrome. And it makes you very powerful. But if you're not learning how to manage it, it could really deplete you. And it could be diagnosed, misdiagnosed, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but as disorders. And that's going to get you caught up in a vicious cycle with no answers. So we do want to be mindful of owning our energy. But first you have to understand what it is and what it's doing. And I want to say that you would be very, very skilled once you do the work on yourself and on managing it and helping others to heal. So this could be anything from, medical intuitive to psychic surgery, to being able to do like what I do here, channeling, because when you have empathic ability, you are automatically mediumistic and you are automatically psychic. That's a given. All right. So that's the one ability where you have the other two to a heightened degree. No wonder it's confusing, right? That's a lot. Okay.
Okay. We have one from Laura.
Okay.
She says, why is my 99-year-old grandmother Myrtle, who is bedridden, nonverbal of Alzheimer's and dementia, holding on or being kept here on Earth?
Okay. Well, one of the things that we see, and I talk about this a lot in my death coaching video. I did a free mini class here on YouTube. If you watch that and you like that, you may want to go for the full training that's up on my website. Paul can put that in the comment section. What happens with dementia, Alzheimer's, if someone's in a coma, if they have severe intellectual disorders, I believe we're calling them today, is that we're sort of trapped in our body, but we're not done with the life process. And so we do something I call playing both sides of the fence. And that means that we spend the majority of our time on the other side. We're doing astral travel. We're communicating with the deceased. We're possibly working as a guide on the other side. We're learning lessons. We are doing all the things that I can most comparably think of to the dream state. Okay, when you go to sleep at night. But because we're not done here yet, we are either not finished applying those things to our life, or, we have what I call death points, and they show up in like Vedic astrology. You might hear of this more than in Western, although typically astrologers are not going to tell you this. Okay. So you have these death points, which are pretty much options. And we have quite a few over the course of our life. So I always say to people, you have an option. You can sort of escape a lot of these death points by making different decisions. But what's happening for your grandmother is that she's kind of in between here. So her last death point, she didn't choose. And I think that she will, be picking the next one. And until then, we have to just let her work out her life contract. So there isn't a specific answer that you would understand. There's a specific answer based on her life contract and what she's supposed to do. I do feel that one of the things she's supposed to be doing is raising questions, which is working. Look, you're already asking. But I also think that there are other family members that are learning to slow things down, to be more centered, to learn lessons about stress and patience and what is the point in life. Your grandmother is a great reflection of, she's almost like a mirror, right? So she's mirroring the life experience right now and how there's more. And we need to ask, why is that? What is that? What is out there? What is going on? She does spend the majority of her time on the other side. So you're going to notice that she's communicating with you through spirit more than she is actually through the body. And that's just as real as anything else, if not more so. Okay.
Monique is asking, who are the jealous energies always around me and why?
I don't really feel too many. I mean, I feel two in particular, like right now, and I do feel like I'm choking as I say that. So one of the things that is going on with you in terms of your life contract is that you are being challenged in the throat chakra. And I feel almost like a strangulation or like a tying. Okay. So if you ever feel like a pressure in your throat or just out of the blue, you start choking and like water won't fix it. It can be an attack on your throat. What does this mean for you? This means that part of your contract when you came to Earth, you are going to repeatedly bump into people and situations, societies that are trying to stifle you, trying to take your voice. That means that you came with a powerful agenda to not only speak for yourself or your cause, but also others, all right? So the minute you start to notice that people around you are always trying to either talk trash, they're trying to attack, they're trying to hush you, they're trying to eat away at your self-esteem and your confidence, because the first thing that typically goes when that happens to someone is their voice. I want you to check out a free mini class we just did. What was that called? Your fear of speaking up. Okay. And even though you don't always have this, you need to know this because it's part of your life contract. So you need to know what area for you gets attacked, and that is the throat. Okay. So your fear of speaking out mini class will help you to understand different areas that others may choose to try to silence you in, and how to predict it ahead of time, how to block it and prevent it, go right around it. This isn't necessarily something that you need to give any mind to, especially where these two individuals are involved. But I do feel like there are some past life issues here with these two. One that carries a little bit more feminine energy and one that carries more masculine energy. And I think that they are here again to sort of knock you down. And what I keep seeing is almost like chopping away at the feet, the ankles, the knees. All right. So that's sort of like cut you down a size. And I think that's important for you to know, because if you have unresolved issues with people in the past, we want to honestly look at those contracts with them, and we want to see what that's about, if there's anything that's due, and if not, how to properly get rid of them. This is a life skill that you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life. And for you in particular, who comes with a life contract giving voice to the disenfranchised, and this being part of your life purpose, it's going to be important that you learn these skills to then apply them for others, to help other people apply what you've learned. So you have to master this. It's part of the plan. But there aren't a ton. It's more like this. You start off with a ton, and then as you learn to block and convert each one into a lesson, and you use it as a tool for your life, then there are fewer and fewer and fewer, and you're really down to a very small handful here. Okay.
We have one from Kerry.
Okay.
It says, I'm asking about my coworker, Kim. Many times I feel something is sketchy about her, and we got into a bit of an argument this week. Maybe I'm being paranoid and owe her an apology?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think just don't really deal with her. You know, sometimes we want to sort of get to the bottom of it with people, but all you really need to know is that the energy is not vibing. Here's a great way to look at people, right? 10% of all people are not going to like you, no matter what you do. You could give them your winning lottery ticket. You could bake them cookies, okay? You can wipe the rear end for them and literally cater and like at work, and like it's not going to work. So 10% of all people aren't going to like you. So automatically we're going to have a disconnect with a handful of people. You know, then we also have a lot going on right now, like especially if you're in America, with tension, okay? A lot of tension, almost a 50-50 split right down the country. So that's adding extra tension to things. And people are in a super combative state of mind. I would say like half the population, right now is in a super combative state of mind. So they're going to have a problem with everybody. So you basically take people and you do this. Cut them down to what they really are. Humans are nothing but wide open vessels. They are just energy, and they are being manipulated all the time by lower, darker energies in the universe, which you could compare to attachments or possession even. And sometimes, if they have a high vibration, by higher energies in the universe, which make them healing and understanding and having humanitarian outlooks on the world. You know, you need to take people that aren't in alignment with that, and you need to say, sorry, but you're irrelevant. And that's it. And that's the bottom line. They're not allowed in your energy field. You do not try to carry on discussion with them. You do not try to get them to see your point of view, because they are not interested in the truth. They're not interested in the light. They're not interested in reality. And you leave them where they belong, which is right outside of your happy place, okay? This is not someone you need to be trying with. You get a weird vibe, leave it there, okay? She comes to you, she needs something, you have to work with her, whatever, that's fine. You don't need to have your chip on your shoulder about it, but you don't need to be inviting this person this far into your circle. And just by even questioning it, you know, it's too far.
Okay. This one is from Megan.
Okay.
How do I better deal with my mother-in-law, Anne?
Oh my God, it's like the same question. It's like the same person. Okay, so who just asked this?
Megan.
And Laura asked the last one?
Last one was Carrie, yeah.
You two need to just meet up and spill some tea and like, this is just like the same person, okay? How do you better deal with someone who is making things uncomfortable or impossible, you know, for you to have peace, is not at all interested in whatever you might bring to the table to offer peace. They've made that very clear. People who are looking for peace, who are looking for harmony in a relationship with you, you don't ever have to go to them and ask for that. They would have already, because they are grown people, okay, or they should be, acting like it, they would have already brought that to the table. There's really nothing more for you to do. You be you, you keep shining, you focus on your relationship, and you make sure that the communication between you and your partner is where it needs to be, so that neither of you are overreaching, trying to either be complacent or to, you know, stroke her ego in any way, or to be apologetic. And I think this is a big theme between both of you, is like one person's apologizing or the other person's sort of apologizing. And it could even just be a slight way of not talking about things that are going on in your life, or, you know, just kind of finding that you're sort of, how do I want to say this? It's almost like a turtle, you know, going into its shell. You're losing your posture, and your energy level is dropping when you have to deal with her. Don't do any of that. Big, bold, here, present, bringing positivity, and this is it. It's not up for debate, and you need to have that energy going in the relationship between you and your partner, or else it kind of throws everything else. He also needs to bring that to the table. There seems to be a guilt issue. That's like a mom issue, like them, not you. Okay, so know what's yours. I did a video, Stay in Your Lane. Was this 2 weeks ago? I just did a free mini class called Stay in Your Lane, and that would help you, because this is a him issue or whatever. I thought that was a male, but your wife or whatever. Okay, your partner, that's their issue with their mother. This is not about you, and it shouldn't ever become about you. Okay.
Lara, Jamie, and Angela all said thank you so much. And they will look into classes you suggested, and everything speaks to them. And I want to thank Carrie for her donation. It's very awesome, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, everybody. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. This one is from Desiree.
Okay.
Said, my intuition tells me Chad will come back to me. I see numbers and signs, but I'm scared it's just wishful thinking and not my intuition. How can I tell the difference?
Well, that's funny, because I'm getting what they drew before you asked your question is a bird. And I feel like you're looking at different animals and number patterns and like signs, and you're thinking this is a reflection that this person is coming back. It's almost like you're looking for things. You know, sometimes people have to have a house land on them, and signs literally just, you know, right up in their face, and they still don't see it. And you, on the other hand, are looking, you're digging, you're searching, you're reaching. I do feel that you are being told to, with this symbol, spread your wings, okay, and fly, move on to something else for sure. I also feel that question of, is it my intuition or is it my emotion, is a huge, really important question that everyone should get to in their lives. And once you learn to master it, it will help you for the rest of your life. I put a free mini class out on this. Go to the playlist, look at two different things: the still small voice and intuition versus emotion. And those will help you to figure out the areas where you're doing this. I do feel that you're overreaching, yes.
Okay. Diana It says, my biological father, Paul, died of leukemia a few months ago. I have a strong intuition he's trying to communicate with me. Do you have any messages from him?
Yeah. So when he comes in here, he talks about two ladies. I feel that these are women that you aren't as close to as you could have been, or he would like to see you be. One feels more like a grandmother or a maternal energy, and the other one feels almost like a sister or an aunt. And so I think he's trying to steer you in that direction. So if you've done anything with like DNA, or you've done like what's it called, ancestry DNA, or if you've looked, for other people down through the family line that maybe you didn't necessarily know that you were related to, I feel that he's bringing some like healing or revelation in those relationships. And I feel that there is one of these females you're incredibly similar to. So it's almost like a spitting image of, and I do want to go more with the grandmother on that. And I also feel that there's a lot of coins being left for you. So it's almost like pennies from heaven, they call it. Okay, so watch for pennies or coins being left. He's using that to communicate with you. He's also making me feel that there were a lot of abilities, like mediumistic abilities, that ran through the family. And I do feel this increasing with you. She may have also had this, and he may have had this. So they're working with you that way to be able to have more direct communication with you. I do feel that your dreams are going to be increasing, but I feel that there's like a series of odd events that lead you to these people. And it looks like books. Okay, so books that would be keeping historical content, or even addresses and names, and a lot of talk of the names that were handed down, especially middle names. And yeah, I feel like he's looking for some reunions here. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
All right, we have one from Griselda.
Okay.
What is going to happen with my relationship with Alex?
I heard not much. It's almost like anything that happens with this relationship with Alex is because you make it so. I feel Alex as a stationary individual, it's almost like Alex is sitting and is patterned, and you can predict where he'll be. There is also could you shut that window? Sorry, my neighbors smoke like chimneys, and it like makes me super sick. We're gonna shut all the windows here. So there's a sense that it's really predictable, and sometimes that can work in your favor because it creates a sense of stability. But in other ways, there is a sort of a frustration. Like you can't always get, could you open this one to air it out? Thank you. It's almost like you can't always get an answer out of this person. So Alex seems to carry a bit of a stoic face. Okay. And that can mean that there's some information that isn't being revealed, which you have a hard time understanding, where he's coming from, or what his plans are, what his real feelings or intentions are long term. And so what I see happening with this relationship is almost like you having to pull teeth, okay, to get that, and to figure out then what you can get that information, what you want to do with it, how you want to apply it. Because even once it comes out, it seems like Alex is still just sort of sitting there, just kind of sitting all the time. So it's like, do I want to make something out of this? And that's up to you, how you want to manage that. I do also feel sometimes with Alex, if you ask for a lot, and how could you not? Because you're going to have to, right? Like, otherwise it'll go nowhere. It's like, if you ask for it, you may see a disturbance, like this person may be dealing with maybe some intimacy issues. It's like, whoa, that's a lot coming at me. And you could see sort of a shutdown, even more so. So it's sort of this balance of how much effort you want to put in and what you hope to get out of a love partnership. So try not to focus too much on Alex and that draw that you feel, that passion that you feel, and just sort of focus on you and what you really want. Okay. Pull back a bit, be more detached than what you are right now. And that will help things fall into place. And then we can see what we've really got here.
We have one from Vanessa.
Okay.
I was hospitalized last month because my body rejected food and liquid for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Doctors found nothing wrong. Could this be a psychic attack?
Well, when we talk about psychic attacks, we're typically talking about someone coming in and like putting a spell on you. And I don't think that that's what's going on. I think that you are in a place right now to level up, and we see all kinds of supposed attacks going on. This is a good time for me to redo the video that I was talking about earlier. It's called Fighting the Dark. For now, just go back and watch the old version of it. So it's in the playlist, Fighting the Dark. You're about to level up in a couple different areas. And when that's going to happen, you're going to have all kinds of attacks. I talk about the 5 different ways that it's going to happen. One of them can be on your physical body. It isn't a psychic attack like someone set out to attack you as much as it is, how do I want to say this? It's an opportunity for you to lose sight of where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be focusing on. And it can be coming from lower or darker energies, not necessarily a person in your circle in the way we traditionally think of psychic attacks. So what I'm feeling with this is that, you do have some energy shifting going on, and it may have even been activated by something called Kundalini. So when we look at a spiritual awakening, an opportunity to level up in any major way, we often have, along with it, a Kundalini experience. And I broke this down a bit. What did we do? Receiving the download. There's another free mini class up here called Receiving the Download that breaks this down more. I don't have time today. But when you go through that kind of an awakening, all types of things happen, including something called a detoxing. And when we detox, we aren't just detoxing our body. We're detoxing mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And the way I teach my students when they do Reiki or psychic surgery training here is that you're also detoxing from past life issues. So it's very possible you could have such an overload of toxins in the body that you didn't know were in there, that it can cause for pretty severe illness. We never want to give Kundalini or a download or an awakening a bad rap, but this is a pretty common side effect that nobody likes to talk about, because all we want to ever do is push enlightenment, push enlightenment. This is the age of enlightenment. Well, what about all the bad stuff that happens? When do we start talking about that? And you have a lot of Reiki practitioners who are out there who are detoxing people and leaving that illness in their body, and they get flu. It's happened to me, where they get flu-like symptoms or they're down and out for weeks or months. Well, that's not good. We have to look at every awakening as a potential Kundalini trigger that is going to cause for illness. And while we hope it only lasts about 3 weeks or so, it can last months, and it can be really bad. What you want to do is drink a ton of water and be prepared for it. Okay, so here's a good example. You go in for a Reiki session, you think this is going to be like a lovely spa treatment, and you're sick for 2 months. Well, what just happened? You detoxed, and then it wasn't treated like a deep tissue massage because the practitioner wasn't experienced enough, or nobody talks about this. And with a deep tissue massage, if you were in really rough shape, that would also make you ill. And the only real way to deal with it is to flush it out. So you want to flush it out physically with water, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, crying, okay, processing what thoughts you're having, processing your feelings, processing any past life information that might start to come through or resurrect itself. There's a lot that can go on. And the doctors can't measure it. I just did another one up on my TikTok about nosebleeds. A lady was asking, why do I keep going to the doctor with these nosebleeds and they tell me nothing is there? Because if you're psychic mediumistic, you just had an awakening, okay, you're empathic, nosebleeds are not uncommon, but they cannot be measured. This is energy. So the doctors are going to tell you there's nothing wrong, okay? It's all a detoxing process.
All right. Next up is Gabrielle.
Okay.
Can you contact my unborn baby? Is it a boy or a girl?
Okay. Well, I feel like at this point we're looking more at girl energy, but originally I had a boy in here, so we could have a child who is switching up gender. But the way that I feel about this one is speech. There's a lot of talk of the teeth. There's a lot of talk of communication and the mouth and being very, very direct. And I feel that this one is coming here and has chosen you to be able to get my word out there, to be able to not only get my word across to other people, but because you have a focus on career and you have a focus on community relations or leadership, and you may even have networking ability to assist this one in getting their life contract complete. And that would be a huge part of it. I almost see this one taking its work and like going up above what you've done with your own or what she did in the past. It's almost like I want to take this up to the next level. And in taking things up to the next level, it's going to take what is already built here as a foundation in the world now and go up above that as well. So it's sort of like next level stuff. I get this feeling of helping others to get what they deserve, to get what they need. It feels to me like reform, and it feels like taking a project and being able to run with it. So this one has an ability to be heard. This one has an ability to speak literally to anyone, which could end up looking like a lot of manipulation in the earlier years, and it could be quite comical, but also exhausting, okay, later on in life, like the teenage years. But you have to understand that this is a sort of master manipulator, okay, and that's what has to come as a gift in order to get that work done. So I feel very excited. Okay. I feel like this child's very excited to officially meet you and get started. And it's going to go very, very quickly. There's a lot of energy. Okay. A lot of high, fast energy. Congratulations.
We have one from Rachel.
Okay.
Said, I recently got into a fight with my roommate, Mel. I didn't know her before living together, but will we be able to get back to being friends like we were before the fight?
You know, I really feel like this is the third of the same message that I have tonight. It's not uncommon for those of you that are tuning in here for the first time to have themes build, and everyone who ends up here kind of has the same thing going on. So we can learn off of each other. It's fascinating. But I really feel that this is another example of what I said earlier to two other people, which is basically this. Worry about your own self. Stay in your lane and don't try to fix this. Don't try to get someone else to see your point of view. And this isn't always the case, but in this situation, it certainly is. And what I feel with this is that Mel is, maybe she was drunk, or like on drugs, or like out of her skull in some way. There just seems to really be a lot of discombobulated thinking and not a very honest approach to what happened. So I don't want to reverse it. I mean, if it was you that was in that condition, then, you know, so be it. Regardless, I feel that there is influence, okay, to the brain. And there is a sense of confusion here that led to poor judgment. And I think that while we may not want to discuss that, or that's not the popular thing to say in this situation, I think we have to look at it, you know, and sometimes you could just say something very simple like, you know what, we were in a really stressed out state of mind, or we were in really bad shape, or, you know, we were shit-faced, we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, whatever it is, you could even just blame it on like, you know, stress in society right now or something like that, and just be like, look, thanks for the donations, guys. I see them coming in. You are greatly appreciated. You know, make that attempt and come to the table and basically act like circumstances made it different than what it was. I believe I'm a better person. I believe you are a better person than that. And, you know, I think it's unfortunate what happened. And let's just, you know, sort of wipe the slate clean and leave it at that. And then you walk away and you literally just do you. Okay. Don't expect too much. Because there is a stubborn personality here with this individual. And so sometimes what you see is that people will, you know, not give it back, not reciprocate. That sort of taking the high road, but then we'll later kind of try to smooth it over and then still be needling you behind your back. And that's what I feel here. So it's kind of like, why even bother? You know, but I think you should, just so that you could say, okay, I didn't leave any stone left unturned. I took the high road. I tried to make peace. That's all I can do. If she wants to be petty after that, then she could be petty, and you don't have to care. Pay your bills, stay in your room, live our lives, right? It's doable. Okay, thank you.
So this one is from Priscilla.
Okay.
She says, I am a light worker. How am I supposed to help or be of service to others?
Okay. Well, let's take a look at what you have going on in your contract. For anyone who's not sure about what they came to Earth to do, whether it be in light work or just like with a career or, you know, where your real passion is, you could book a life contract reading with me anytime. Paul, if you could put the website link in the... Okay, so we will break that down. From birth to old age, what you came to do. All right, Priscilla, what is Priscilla here to do with people? Well, there are a couple different things going on. First of all, you're very good at helping people to find center. Okay, which I'm assuming means you have found center. How do you help somebody else do that? Sometimes it is actually easier to help other people than it is to do it ourselves. I preach a lot. I can't practice half of it without a battle. I should listen to my own self. You know, so maybe you don't always get it right, but you seem to be really skilled at helping people to find center. And that can mean that if everything else is crashing down around somebody, you know, you're still the calm one. You're still the voice of reason. You're still somewhat optimistic or looking for the silver lining, or at least just capable of not freaking out like everyone else is and moving through things, not running and trying to escape things or hide from things, but move through things. Slow and steady wins the race, you know? So with this ability, I think that you've overlooked it. It's not a super flashy point in the lightworking community, right? Or the spiritual or energetic community. People don't talk a ton about that. They want to talk about psychic stuff and healing stuff and empathic stuff. No one talks about character. No one talks about, you know, that ability to do shadow work. No one talks about being centered and rooted and grounded as much as they should. If you don't have this, you don't have anything. And you do have this. And so you are able to, through example, show other people how to stay calm and to keep their heads out of the past, which is going to cause depression, and keep their heads out of the future, worrying about what's coming up, which is going to cause anxiety. Now, in the center, that's where we connect to the right side of our brain. That's where we connect to intuition, our higher mind, and we can also channel, right? Spirits of the universe. So I think that you're meant to keep people right about there. How to do it? There are a million different ways to do it. That's where the ball gets thrown back in your court and spirits kind of like figure it out, you know, figure it out. How to do it? You have to step out and start trying. I would recommend that you start with like little clips, like little TikTok vids where you're maybe helping people to get centered through meditation, right? Or like water, you know, look at water. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Let's let go of something negative. You could do it sort of in ceremonial ways. You could do different videos. I see things that are like clips of you and your voice. And I don't know how you feel about your voice, but I think that other people will actually find it quite soothing when you start doing this work. So the ultimate goal right now is to get you started on this journey. And once you start to see how you are able to help people stay in the here and now, without sort of holding on to that ultimate goal of like, what's next? Nothing's next. This is all that there is. If people can learn to do this more often, it will become a habit. They will eventually be able to master it. And this is where everything is being able to stay right here. Now, over the course of the next 2 years, there is talk of you branching out into something that looked more like books, or not necessarily publishing, but definitely giving more information out to the masses. And that could also involve something almost like a yoga type of a feel, which again reminds me of sort of a meditative state of mind. So that's where you start. Yeah. Well, now that's where you start. Yeah.
Okay. This one is from Frankie.
Okay.
And she asks, is my relationship with my long-term, long-distance boyfriend Bernado going to last?
I think it will if you both want to really put in that much effort. I feel you getting restless, and I think that you have a way of looking at him and maybe questioning what he's up to, or, you know, whether he's being consistent. But I also feel that sometimes when we're questioning other people, it's because we're really questioning those same things ourselves, and we don't want to deal with that. And so I think that he's pretty consistent. I also feel him being fairly matter of fact in his life and fairly detached from things. So he is not really passionately, actively moving forward with this relationship. And I could see his brain just being about like work or money or my life or dealing with what I'm dealing with. And you're not hugely incorporated into that. And I feel like you want to be more. I feel that you want something that's more, concrete than that. But I do feel that sometimes you pick people that are pretty unavailable. And that sort of says, maybe I'm not 100% ready, not as much as I think I am. And I get this restless thing with you. And so that comes up more over here to the future. So what does this look like down the road? Well, I feel you really questioning what else there could be out there for you and what it could be like to have someone not only closer, but more engaging than this. And I think you need to answer those questions before we can really figure out what else is here. It feels to me in a lot of ways like this relationship, while it has potential to last, it's also mostly about lessons and growth, and it kind of has that friendship basis more than that sort of really dynamic, soulmate connection that can last a lifetime with the cords and the North Node connection, meaning we have a ton of work to do together. It's sort of a little less dynamic than that. So it's a lot of questions going on.
Okay, and this one is from Angela.
Okay.
I feel like I'm lost currently and having a grass is always greener on the other side thing. Not sure how to shake this feeling. Do you have any insight?
I think we're all there. I think we all feel pretty miserable or dissatisfied, or even when we're things that we are satisfied with in our lives. I think we're all questioning, is it going to last? What does it mean? Can I even count on this being here? I think we're all there. And I think that one of the things that you're picking up on is the general mentality of the entire world, okay? The whole planet is where you are right now. And that means that even if you authentically aren't there, it's still going to permeate because we all feed off of each other's energy. So one of the things to look at is that you are very empathic on the third level. And when you have that, you pick up on telepathy, you overabsorb other people's energy. Check out the empathic awareness class that was mentioned here earlier. Paul posted that for her. But basically, you need to stop right now and do what a lot of people are doing right now. Book a life contract reading with me, give it the time and the attention that it deserves, figure out why you came to Earth. What is written within your life contract? What is your purpose for being here? Because let me tell you this, a lot of people are feeling that they are dissatisfied with their life and they don't understand why, because they aren't living, they have not been living on the path. And when you're not living on the path, you're always going to be restless. There will never be a sense of peace. I don't care how much money you have. You will never feel full. You will never be fulfilled. You have to do what you came here to do. And so it's very possible that you're being tested in multiple ways. But I think that what's really important here, and this is really for everybody, is that when you're feeling a level of dissatisfaction and restlessness, I think you need to learn to stop looking outside of you. How can I satisfy this? What can I satisfy? I'm going to eat this. I'm going to go here. It's because of this. Playing the blame game. Well, it's because of COVID, or, this is causing it. That's causing it. Where are the answers? Talking to other people, even tuning into the show, even though I appreciate you being here and asking, well, what is it? Well, what is it? No. The minute we feel that restlessness, you go in. The answers are in here. So learn to communicate with your guides, learn to communicate with your higher mind, learn to tap into the Holy Spirit. You go in and you ask. That's where the answers are. And until we learn to do that every time we feel that kind of creeping up anxiously in our energy, we are always going to be chasing our tails. We are always going to be feeling like the grass is greener. Everything in your life will bring you dissatisfaction. Even if it could not get any better, it will still not be what it feels that it should be. All right. So let's ask the right questions at this point. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you for Trust the free mini class coming up later this week. And I do want to say thank you to everybody who donated. And also welcome to our members. And thank you so much. So we have a Katie Vagavelio, Amanda Hebert, Amy Nicole, Heather, Mary Hodgson, Michelle Kiska, Cheryl Gottman, the Pisces Goddess, Jamie Joe, Lori Fallon, Candace Kempton, Angelica Pilar, Gloria Augusto, Sherry Carter, Vanessa Dempsey, Carrie Watson, Chicken Mama, Jill Marie, Bernadette Ruoff. Hopefully I didn't massacre any of those. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you, Polly.
You're very welcome.
And thank you, Spirit. See you guys next Monday. Don't forget, your horoscopes are up on YouTube halfway. The rest are going up tonight or tomorrow afternoon. Have a great week.